Hello there, lovelies. Tierney Nicole here. Today we're going to be diving into the topic around protection. And from my heart, from my soul, sharing what has worked with me and why protection is important. A couple days ago in my stories, I asked if this is something you would be interested in, as some of my ladies in my mentorship programs have requested it as well. And hundreds of you came forth and said that this is something that you need guidance on right now. And then I had a question box where you guys asked a few questions. So I'm going to answer a few of those questions, as well as share some of the messages and downloads that have been coming in through my channel, specifically on protection rituals and why it's essential right now that we are engaging in these protection rituals. So I want to begin by touching on a question that somebody asked. And they asked, if the universe is so great and, we're alive and things are great, why do we need protection? And of course, this is a question that maybe many of us have asked. I know I've asked this. And the truth is that the universe, yes, it is great, but the universe is neutral. The universe is balanced, as far as I can understand, right? Because there is infinite space in the universe for many different experiences and realities. But from my perspective and what I've seen in my life, that the universe is neutral. And because of this, it opens room for polarity, duality, and full spectrum experiences to be present. And with this duality, we of course have, positive, we have negativity, we have, good, bad, we have the neutral, we have the ugly, the beautiful, we have all of these different spectrums and everything in between. And so there's lots of room for many different things to happen in our lives when we are existing in a universe that's center point is neutral. And especially right now with everything that's going on the planet, I don't have to go into a whole bunch of this, and things that are also going on in the universe at a very quantum level that many of us can't even comprehend. There's a battle against dark and light, right? And personally, within my system, I feel that we are at the edge of a breakthrough where the darkness, where the evil is holding on as tight as it possibly can. As tight as it possibly can. And as the light continues to prevail and expand, that darkness is contracting. And so especially right now in the shadow seasons, as I call them, for autumn and winter, it's really, really important for us to, expand our energy fields and thrive and live within the realms of being protected and prosperous in our energy fields. So just like the veil is thin, we can ascend into higher dimensions and we can also descend into lower dimensions. And it's that line between ascension and descension is very thin right now as we are, emerging beyond the veil. The veil is actually pretty much non-existent right now. And as we're emerging, that line is very thin, right? And so with the dualities in the universe and the different spectrums of good, light, dark, evil, all of those different things, we have to be very mindful with what we're engaging in. And from my personal experience of, being a spiritual woman and a woman who has a big life purpose and is fully online for that life purpose, it tends to get on the radar of sometimes dark energies, right? And so there can be this pull to contract us and our ability to ascend through very subtle things that lower our vibrational field. And so protection rituals are here to cloak your frequency, are here to guard your frequency, to be existence as existing as a shield for your frequency so that you can stay in your center, so that you can stay pure and continue to ascend no matter what frequencies on the outside of you are present. And so as a woman who understands the multitude of variables that any human can exist on within this planet, I love to teach protection rituals from a perspective of using your own body, using your own mind, and using your own spirit. So I'm going to begin getting into my favorite ways to protect my energy field and what I would recommend. And with this, I invite you to take what serves you and leave the rest, okay? So from that experience and the need to be able to protect yourself with your own body, this is extremely essential because, in the material world, it can be really easy to go and grab, that smoke medicine, whether that's sage or Palo Santo or whatever you have in your reach. It can be easy to go and grab that crystal or light that candle, whatever it is that the simple materialistic ritual is. It can be really easy to go and do that. But a lot of times what this does is it only scratches the surface and it doesn't fully allow us to penetrate deeply into our spirit and bring forth the resurrection of our pure, inherent, unconditionally loving energy that radiates the force field that we need to stay protected. And what we really need to be doing, and what I'm going to share here as my favorite ritual, is working on protection of our mind, our body, and spirit from a quantum level that extends from our physical bodies into our etheric bodies and into the full spectrum of our auric field. And this is extremely important. Protection, vibrational protection, begins in the auric field. It begins in the magnetism of your auric field. I've gone through a really wild past 2 weeks and did some ceremonies that really, in a way, gave me a fresh start with my auric field and my physical body and a lot of things that are moving through me. And so I'm in the process right now of rebuilding my shield per se as I'm in this holy vibration. I actually was looking at this photo today and I was like, yeah, this feels like me right now. The way her aura is, the light penetrating beyond it. So the auric field has a few layers as far as I've studied and been able to receive through my studies. We have the etheric layer of the aura, which extends about an inch off of the skin, and this directly connects to the meridian system, the chakra system, as well as, the Sushumna, the Ida, the Pingali, all of these systems that are within the physical body and generate from the physical body. So that the etheric field is just beyond the physical body and reaches into those inner realm energy centers. And then, we have other layers of the aura. If you study Tantra, you might know about, the 10 layers of the aura. You might know about the pain body. But for me, the way that I can simplify this in the easiest way is we have our emotional body, which extends from the etheric body. We have our mental body, which extends from the emotional body. And then we have our spiritual, sacred energy body, which extends into the auric field and can have many, many layers unfolding upon it that can extend up to 9 feet beyond the physical body. So the auric field is extremely powerful. And depending on what we are engaging in within our daily lives and all of those different factors and variables that are coming in, our energy field can either expand or it can contract, right? And when our energy field is contracting, it is really, we're susceptible. We're susceptible to infiltration. We're susceptible to, psychic attacks. We're susceptible to suppression, to even slavery and rape and things of this nature. Not saying that that's our fault, but when we take the ownership of our own keys and our own heart and choose to expand our energy field and harness the potency of our energy field and shield our energy field, we are more likely to be in that ascension state. So ultimately, what we want is to expand the energy field, right? We want it to be as expanded as possible. And in order to get into that expansion, we need spaciousness. And so we can't have, outdated emotions and thoughts that are ruling our life in the auric field. We really don't want past traumas living in the auric field. We don't want generational curses or ancestral karma living in the energy field. And so that's why when we are working on ascension and spiritually elevating and ascending our lives, we have to go to the basics. We have to go to the foundation. We have to deal with our childhood traumas. We have to deal with our ancestral karmas, so that we can have spaciousness in our field to integrate and download the higher dimensional energy that is conducive to our ascension. So the best ritual that you can do is, number 1, breathing into the auric field. No matter what's going on in the world or what's going on around you, you have the ability to close your eyes, turn your gaze inward, and breathe into the dimensions of your body. Breathe into the physicality of your body, breathing into the layers of your auric field, breathing into the arc lines, and feeling authentically where your energy field is at. And, with the way that our world works, it's inherent that we mesh energy fields with other people. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to mesh, especially if you're an empath. The key to being a liberated empath is learning to not mesh energy fields, okay? So breathing into the energy field, you can feel within that day, within that moment, are you holding spaciousness or are you holding contraction? And from that discernment, you know where to go. You can begin to get the direction as to where to go for your protection ritual. My favorite thing to do is to bring in the Devic kingdom, the mineral kingdom, and call upon certain minerals that I need. Perhaps that is a diamond light that is so bright that it pierces through all darkness, and I radiate that through my magnetic field. I radiate that through my auric field. Perhaps it's gold. I put a golden armor that is hard, that is unpierceable around my auric field. Perhaps I need rose quartz to keep my spirit high. Perhaps I need chrysocolla to keep the goddess alive. Maybe you need calcite, maybe you need selenite. So I like to call upon specific minerals or even color spectrums to come into my auric field and to clear out the energy as well as raising the frequency of the auric field. And then the biggest thing is that shield. So we need to shield our energy, right? So that we're not meshing our energy with people and places and the overall collective human consciousness. We don't want to mesh. We want to be liberated. We want to be sovereign. We want to be spaciousness in our energy field. And like I said, the auric field can be measured beyond 9 feet of the physical body. So wherever you're going in the world, do you want to absorb the energy around you or do you want to influence the energy around you? Okay, if you want to, if you want to influence the world around you through your vibrational field and not absorb it, you have to expand the energy field and you have to shield it. So how do we shield? There's 2 ways that I practice shielding. Number 1 is by calling forth that golden frequency to come forth like a golden egg around my energy field, keeping it within its perimeters and keeping the outside world out and my inner world in. Another way to shield is by calling forth a cloak energy. Ooh, this feels really big to share online. Yeah, doing that. This is as far as I'm going to go with the cloak. Calling forth the cloak. And then you can also do other purification rituals from that space. So first, you want to do the vibrational field work. You want to do the auric field work. And then, call upon your tourmaline crystal. Burn your incense, burn your copal, burn your sage, burn your palo santo. If you work with other forms of purification medicine, work with those. If you need to light a candle, if you need to work with a scent, if you need to call upon your animal totems, your guides, your guardians, do that. But first, when we're doing protection rituals, you must come from a perspective of sovereignty and coming into the vibrational field around you and bringing the frequency around and in, and then pulling upon the material world around you to support you. And no matter what you have going on in your life, whether you are, peachy and keen and living it up and feeling super safe and glorious, or you feel like you are in the underworld right now, it is wise to do this auric field scanning and protection and building daily. I do my best to practice, this specific protection ritual that I shared in the morning and the evening, right? Because we go through things. Our energy field is always contracting and expanding, and it takes consistency for the energy field to relearn the inherent right of constantly being shielded and protected. We have to retrain that right now on this planet, right? Because like I said, the way that we are, brought up is meshing. So we have to unlearn meshing through guarding and protecting our vibrational field. So this is something you want to come to time and time and time again. I love to do it morning and evening, and through this practice, it becomes inherent and it becomes easier, and you become more and more strengthened in your ability to ascend. So this is really important to understand that that devotion is what is going to give it forth. Yes, you can pray. Yes, you can, like I said, light your sage, get your crystals, whatever. Yeah, you can do that. But oftentimes that's a quick fix and kind of just offers a band-aid to the vibrational field when really you need a cloak. You need a shield. So taking that time, taking that devotion to sink in and do the work and show up. And for empaths, for highly sensitive people, this is essential. And even if you don't identify as those, vibrational signatures, this is essential because we are here for ascension. If you're listening to this video, if you're here with me, you are here for ascension. And you have a great purpose. And the best thing that you can do for yourself, for the world, for your purpose to be lived out in reality is to harness your power, shield your energy, and discern what you let in. I do identify as a channel, right? So those who have worked with me and joined my in-person ceremonies understand that capacity. And with being a channel, I don't let beings, energies, all of that into my field. They stand at the edge of my auric field. And if you're somebody who is interested in developing your skills as a channel, or you're wanting to connect with higher dimensional beings, etc., have them come to the edge of your auric field and let them support you from there. This keeps you safe, this keeps you sovereign, and actually it's very, very, very rewarded in the realms of energetics when you discern the difference between your sovereign energy field and what you're calling forth, right? And so when I'm calling forth, the golden egg, or I'm calling forth the cloak, or I'm calling forth the minerals, the light frequencies, yeah, those come into my energy field because they're pure, they're pristine. But when we're calling forth other beings and stuff like that, they have their own sovereignty going on. So let them be sovereign and let them greet at the edge of the field. That was something that really wanted to be shared. Let's go ahead and end this with that prayer, okay? So we are going to do a prayer for tapping into your inner knowing. Please stay with this prayer until the end. So to receive this prayer, please bring your left hand upon your heart and your right hand on your solar plexus right above the navel. And just open yourself to receiving this prayer if that feels good for you. Like I said, take what resonates and leave the rest. Dear Holy Mother and Holy Father, we pray to you in this moment as we call forth the ability to tap into our inherent knowing that is pure, that is pristine, that is strong, and that is resourced in keeping our channels clear, keeping our auric field clear, so that we can shield out negative energy and forces that do not support our ascension, our pristine ascension. May we stay shielded in the realms of darkness, and may the pearlescent golden frequency of the Supreme Self continue to rise into our being, so that we can navigate the shadows with grace and ease. Dear Holy Father and Holy Mother, we pray to you to continue to guide us on our path of learning who our true self is, and to know the capacity that we hold to harness the love and the purity that this world needs. Continue to usher us on that path. Continue to allow us to expand into those realms and those truths. May we be forever cradled in your loving embrace from the holiest of holies until the end of time. Thank you. Amen. Beautiful. Beautiful, that feels complete. And so, when it comes to praying, speak from your heart and wear it on your sleeve. And know that it is sacred law for that prayer to be answered. It has been an honor to connect with you. It is such an honor to connect with you here and to guide you and support you in your realm of being protected and prosperous. And I want nothing more for you than to be anchored in your sovereignty and pristinely protected from all the variables that we have to face here. I love you all so much. With the whole heart, I humbly bow to you, and I pray for all of this for you and so much greater. All right, look forward to seeing you guys on the other side. Sat Nam.